I had about a week ago with two people that I met when I was in Tennessee. I was sharing the story of how I've come to be in the situation that I'm currently in now. One of them asked me about my family. When I stated that I've had to cut all ties with them, he seemed very confused and kept repeating that he just couldn't understand what would be their reasoning for not being close to me and supportive of me in the way that typical families would be. And when he simply could not seem to come to terms with the idea, he got this look on his face like, well, then it must have been you. You must have done something. Or maybe I was just cruel and cutting people off for no reason, which is nowhere near the truth. I had to leave my family behind because they were psychologically and emotionally damaging to me. It was self-preservation. I think a lot of people have a deeply ingrained belief that family means automatically safe and unconditional permanent love and support. I used to feel the same way. And that's actually the part that I don't think that people really do understand. The reason it took me so long to walk away is because I believed that too, fully and wholeheartedly. I wasn't sitting there thinking this is toxic and I should just cut everybody off. I was thinking this is family, so I need to try harder. So when something felt wrong, I didn't question them. I internalized it. I questioned myself. Maybe I'm too sensitive, or maybe I misunderstood things, or maybe I just need to be more forgiving, more understanding, more available, more patient. And what that does over time is it creates this split inside because your body knows something isn't right. You can feel it. You carry it. But your mind overrides it with what you've been taught is true. That family is safe. Family loves you. Family doesn't harm you. So if harm is happening, your brain doesn't go, this isn't safe. It goes, I must be the problem. There must be something wrong with me. And that's one way that people stay in situations that are hurting them for years because they've been conditioned to interpret reality through a belief that doesn't match their actual experience. For me, it was both gradual and sudden. Gradual in the sense that I always felt it. I always knew deep down. There was something inside me that just didn't sit right, but I didn't let myself fully see it. Because if I did, it would have forced a choice that I wasn't ready to make yet. A choice between staying connected or being honest with myself. And when you know that being honest might cost you everything that you love, that's everyone that you love. That's not something that you do lightly. Excuse Dash. It's okay, Dash. So I stayed. I adapted. I became the one who held everything together. I took on the emotional weight. I absorbed the blame, and I carried the guilt and the shame that didn't belong to me. Because somewhere I knew that if I didn't do that, everything would fall apart and everyone would disappear. And once I tested those waters and pulled back, keeping the contact, I was always the one that was keeping contact with people in my family. And then my phone just fell totally silent. And at that point, I couldn't lie to myself anymore. Like the truth had been knocking for so long that I finally opened the door. And once I did, it was there. There was absolutely no way that I could not see it anymore. I couldn't lie any longer. It was just, I can't do this anymore. Not because I didn't care or because I wanted to hurt somebody, but because staying in touch was hurting me. Because I was the only one actually staying in touch anyway. I mean, they expected me to be there at holidays. But I mean, why? So I can fake that we're some kind of family that we're not? I mean, that hurt me. I'm not going to put myself through pain just so somebody can uphold an image, right? Or that's the way it became. I finally stopped doing that. And that was the first time I can honestly say I chose myself. I tested that belief that I had been living under and I stopped playing that role. I stopped over-functioning. I stopped holding it together. And everything did fall apart and people did disappear. Relationships dissolved and my worst fears had come to fruition. And it was heartbreaking because it felt like loss, because I mean, it was in a way. But then another realization happened. If everything falls apart when you stop sacrificing yourself, then it was never stable to begin with. It was being held together by you, and that changes things. Because now it's not, I destroyed all the relationships with my family. It's my family depended on me abandoning myself to function around me, and that's not love. That's not safety, and that's not support. That's more like a system, and systems don't typically like it when one person stops playing their role. So when people look at me and say, I just don't understand how you could cut off your family, what I hear is, I've never had to question that belief. And I get that. I really do, because I used to be the same way. And I'm envious of people who truly have the ability to be so confused, because that means that they have never had to experience this. But what I need people to understand is this: walking away from your family is not something people do casually. It's not impulsive, and it's not cruelty, and it's definitely not easy. And just because you don't understand how or why, it doesn't mean that there must be something wrong with anyone involved. That judgment isn't fair to make. Walking away from your family is something that happens when staying becomes more damaging than leaving. When your body starts saying no louder than your conditioning can say yes. And when you realize that love should not require you to erase yourself. And I think that's why people struggle to accept it, because if they do, they have to confront something uncomfortable. That family doesn't automatically equal safe. That love is not guaranteed just because you share blood. And that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is walk away. And that doesn't make you heartless. It means you finally stop betraying yourself just to keep other people comfortable. And that's not cruelty, that's self-preservation. And sometimes that's what love actually looks like.